Welcome to the educators.
Yay! Go for it.
Welcome to the Educators in VR XR News Show, formerly News and Updates.
In our first XR show of 2025, we opened the show to talk about what a stunning start we were experiencing in the new year, referencing the impact of AI and XR and our lives.
Yeah, that was January. This is February 25, and that enthusiasm for the stunning start to the new year has shifted quite a bit.
Indeed it has. It's rather stunning. It's gone from fears and cheers for artificial intelligence to more anxieties about the world we live in and the access and prices of the VR hardware that we so love.
Not to get into politics, of course, but it is politics that is reaching out from the real world into the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be talking about the impact of tariffs and politics this year for a while. But let's get on with the news that brought you here today to engage XR and to us.
Yeah, and absolutely. And today our guests are two people that are invaluable to the XR News Show, and we are so thrilled to showcase them and their work in VR. You're going to love it.
Well, we have Lance Wusky, my
Wait a
friend
minute,
Lance
you shouldn't
Wusky.
be reading this. You shouldn't be reading this.
Oh, here.
We have the amazing, see, Lance Wusky and KarenVR, who was just speaking, they're here today to discuss not just their overall work and contributions that have been just absolutely amazing to social VR, but the development of their own community and how they built it. That's the Cadets Metaverse. So we're really thrilled for those of you who are here from the Cadets, and we're glad to have you here to cheer on and support Karen and Lance.
So sit back and relax. Prepare yourselves to be informed and amused. As always, if you want to know more, we have links to all the news stories we cover in our Educators in VR Discord.
We do. We do.
Yes.
So now let's start off with some XR industry news. Let's see what's going on in XR industry. So the news out of China now of a new AI called DeepSeek shook stock markets around the world and made those in the AI industry sit up and take notice. News that it costs less to make, was faster and portable, and other exaggerations taken as fact caught AI developers off guard. NVIDIA's share price dropped more than $400 billion US in one day.
600
billion US dollars in one day.
What's
That's
a
a big
billion
difference.
here and there?
Big difference. I'll take the extra 200 billion.
Yeah. So will I. Just share, Karen. Share.
I will share. I'll share. Yeah, I'll give you 1 billion. I'll take the other billion.
Oh, that's
okay.
Nice.
That was
Good
the
enough.
biggest single day loss in history.
That's a 17% drop for a company providing the hardware that is leveraging the advanced AI development that is revolutionizing the metaverse. A leader in 3D graphics since 1993, most of us likely have NVIDIA graphics cards in our computers. In 2022, they created the NVIDIA Omniverse. A state-of-the-art metaverse enterprise platform that links digital and physical worlds together globally. It is moving into the consumer market fast. We're eager to see what this new upstart will do to the AI and metaverse market. Stay tuned.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so first announced last September, AI-driven non-player characters, NPCs, are now available for world builders in Meta's Horizon worlds on the Quest. The NPCs can perform various actions, assist users, and even participate in games with multiple players, all with customizable appearance and voices that fit their world's theme. We'll see if, like Engage's XR's AI engine, it will be able to summon up photospheres on command. Process prompt requests for AI-generated 3D models on the fly, like the Trellis 3D system that Banter has now integrated into its platform.
It's AI is everywhere, isn't it? It's amazing.
It sure is.
Which brings us to an incredibly hot topic that we could do an entire show on. The U.S. Copyright Office finally clarified that AI-generated content can be copyrighted if humans significantly contribute by adding, modifying, or creatively arranging the material. However, AI outputs from mere text prompts are not copyrightable due to insufficient human input. This underscores the importance of human creativity in copyright law amidst, well, the AI advancements. For metaverse creators, using AI for images, models, and more defining substantial human contribution still is a little unclear. How much is human? How much is AI? I don't know. So, you know, the Office of Copyright is going to continue to assess it. And they have a report that's coming on AI training with copyrighted works forthcoming. But, you know, join us as, you know, we're going to be exploring the evolving issues around copyright, including this next bit.
Today, the first major AI copyright case in the United States was settled against AI startup Ross Intelligence. The AI company used content from a law firm to train their AI without permission, thus violating their copyright. The fallout from this decision could impact those of us who use generative AI 3D modeling, and world building is the source of the AI's generative database, complicating things. So many questions remain, but we are here to keep an eye on the news for you.
It's going to be an amazing adventure. I love copyright stuff. It's complicated and fun. Now,
Speak for yourself.
Complicated, yes.
oh, I do. I've been studying the licensing and copyright for decades, and I find great joy in it. John Carmack, the ex-Oculus CTO, ignited debate by claiming that Beat Saber was more vital to VR's growth than Half-Life Alyx. Ooh, how many of you agree to that one or disagree? But here's the facts. Beat Saber boasts over 10 million sales on Quest, offering broad appeal, exercise, and replayability. Conversely, Alyx, while critically acclaimed, really cool, has only around 2.2 to 4.4 million downloads with a much shorter gameplay duration. So we'd love to hear your thoughts post-show on our Educators in VR Discord or social media about which one do you think? Do you think that honestly, is Beat Saber really the game changer? You know, did it really have an impact, or do you think it's Half-Life Alyx?
Beat Saber, but that's just my opinion. So I got to put my 2 cents in. What the heck? So
I'm with you.
The Video Game History Foundation, VGHF, launched its digital archive in late January, making its extensive collection publicly accessible. Since 2017, the archive has digitized its collection of development documents, behind-the-scenes content, rare publications, and memorabilia. Highlights include the Mark Fittman papers, offering insights into early game production, and over 100 hours of Myst series footage with Cyan team interviews. It's really fascinating. The library is at library.gamehistory.org. It's a beautiful thing. Take time to donate a little and remind them that VR games are also worth preserving.
I'm such a Myst fan. I watched just a little bit of the stuff with Cyan, and I'm like, oh man, it's just really fascinating. Yeah.
Well, on to what we would view it in or on. Virtual hardware. Meta's news brings mixed signals for the metaverse. Yet recent updates shine a hopeful light. XR Today reported Meta is intensifying investments in immersive tech, part of a $100 billion plan for AR glasses, new VR headsets, and mixed reality. Sales of the Quest 3s brought in money way beyond expectations over the holidays, recharging their commitment. I got that. This finally puts the Meta Reality Labs fairly equal to Unity and Roblox. The top metaverse, thank you. The top metaverse industry company. This optimism coincides with Samsung leaking details about the Muhan XR headset revealed at CES in January, and other competitors enhancing XR with AI. We're in for some of the most thrilling years in XR history coming up.
I really believe so. I really do believe it that it's just this next couple of years are going to be amazing. As we discussed in our last show, not so amazing. Many of us purchase tech ahead of potential tariffs. NVIDIA, Newegg, MSI, Asus, and other manufacturers have admitted to planning price increases, actually have increased the prices ahead of any announcements as high as 20% due to anticipated tariffs. Now, with the announcement yesterday at 25% tariff on steel and aluminum, I actually heard from some VR users who said, oh, I'm relieved. At least they're not, hitting us. Don't be relieved. Computer and VR manufacturers rely heavily on these metals in their casing, their internal components. It will have a domino effect that will be felt everywhere, from our headsets to airplanes, even kitchen tools. If you haven't made a tech purchase yet, we suggest that you do it now rather than later.
Your wallet will
Good
thank.
advice.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it time to replace your VR headset? Well, MetaQuest headsets typically have a lifespan of about 6 years. Quest 2 users may last longer due to the release of the Quest 3S based upon its lens and chipset. It likely has about 2 to 3 more years of life remaining, making discounted replacements a reasonable option. The Quest 3 is expected to last until 2029 or 2030, but concerns arise for the Quest Pro and the Quest 3S.
Meta gave up early on the Quest Pro, and some fear that the Quest 3S may have a shorter lifespan than Meta's projection of 2029 due to its hardware similarities to the Quest 2. If you're considering non-Quest VR headsets, most offer similar lifespans of 5 to 6 years. However, higher-end or tethered headsets often last longer due to their superior build quality and extended support cycle, which gives us lots to think about.
Which also reminds me, the buying because of the tariffs and trying to make a decision on the headset. Karen, I have an important question for you. Did you buy a new computer?
Yes, I'm on it now, and you don't see any semicolons flying through the air. No more semicolons. Well, every once in a while, because I have some applications on the other computer that I haven't loaded yet on this computer. So, like my calendar for one. So, and then I hear it and I slam the lid down and it goes away. But yes, I'm on my new computer. Yes, yay, yay, yay.
Yay! Congratulations! Yay! She had a runaway. For like the last 6 to 8 months, she's had a runaway computer. It's been a keyboard on her computer.
Yeah,
so,
the semicolon just kept on.
Yes,
semicolon.
Yes, and then you, Laurel, have to put it up on the screen for everybody to see my semicolons. How embarrassing.
Well, it was hard for them to visualize.
Wait a minute. Was that just too embarrassing for you?
No,
that wasn't the end.
I could handle it. I could handle it.
Sure? Are you sure you can handle it?
Positive.
Because we do also have it. So much for my great ridiculous segue. We do actually have the proof and the evidence of this drama that hit. So this is a behind the scenes look at our script. And we would be reading the news, and all of a sudden the page would get lower and lower, and we're like reading and reading and reading and reading. And we'd scroll up and we'd see that we had an attack of the semicolon. So this was actually, I did a screenshot of this live during the last show to show everybody why we were freaking out and stumbling all over yourself. So Nella, I told you that it's the mistakes we make that makes us crazy. So now you have the evidence of this is what our script was like.
We have a good reason.
Wait a minute. We have blackmail evidence, Karen.
Suffice it to say, I hate semicolons. I don't even like looking at them. I hate them.
It was, we deleted something like 18 or 24 pages of semicolons. So it was crazy. Anyway, but, if there aren't technical issues, not a successful
and it's
show.
not VR.
Yay! Yes, indeed. All right, well, we can move on now.
We know you out there are VR gamers, but what about regular 2D video games? NVIDIA just announced their GeoForce app is in the Quest, Apple, and Pico stores, so you can stream over 4,000 video games from Steam, Epic Games, and more, and play them with a gamepad controller in your VC headset through the GeoForce web browser. Check it out and let us know what you are playing and share your experience.
Oh, you want to know. Now, over the years, we have shared with you so many stories about adding smell and taste to VR. Well, here's one more.
Mhm.
Scientists in Hong Kong have created a lickable device. This is another lollipop
Yeah.
thing that uses food-grade chemicals and electric currents to simulate 9 different flavors. Now, if you were to think about this, all the flavors in the world, which 9 would you choose? So the process is
Peppermint.
called ion. What, peppermint? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would do peppermint in a hot minute. Yeah.
I just don't want to be electrocuted by a lollipop. Thank you.
What is it? Takes a licking and keeps on ticking? No.
No.
Okay.
That
So the
was
process
good
is,
stuff.
yeah, that was brilliant. Ion, this is ridiculous. Ion tophorus, which means to transport favor-inducing ions through agarose hydrogels. Blech, that's a mouthful.
Whatever you say.
That is a mouthful.
So
Oh.
of the nine flavors, they did sugar, salt, citric acid. Yeah, I got that. Cherries, passion fruit, green tea, milk, durian, and grapefruit.
Wait, durian? What's durian?
Yeah, durian is one of the flavors.
You mean durian, that giant dragon-looking fruit that smells like old moldy socks that has people complaining for several city blocks around? That durian, Laurel?
That yeah, it's that durian. But
Ooh,
have you tasted durian?
No.
Have either of you
No.
tasted it? Okay.
no.
It may smell like old socks that have been left in a locker for like 10 years and you need to run away from them, but it tastes like the most amazing, delicious custard pudding. It's really magic. It tastes like
Ugh.
it has the texture of custard pudding.
But you have to hold your nose. Uh-huh.
Well,
Okay.
there is that.
If you say so. I'm just not sure I want to taste the durian even in VR, okay?
Yeah. Well, it tells you
really.
the manufacturers were in Asia, and so that's where the durian thrives. So it's all about, there it is.
Okay.
Okay, we're
Durian
going to
is
make a
weird choice.
transition now from durian to XR app news. Okay, out with the durian, into the XR app news. Okay, all right, so we've enjoyed turning mundane tasks into meditative and fun experiences in Power Wash Simulator, Pressure Washer, and Job Simulator. We've managed a laundromat, an Arcade Paradise VR. And we've even vacuumed in Chores 2.0. Well, I haven't, but anyway, all wonderful mindless endeavors. Well, here comes another one that takes on farming.
Yep.
I want this one.
Farming Simulator VR by Giants Software arrives this month on Quest. It gives you the opportunity to learn virtual farming, including how to maintain and operate authentic farming machinery from top brands, and how to grow and harvest your own greenhouse vegetables for your virtual farm empire.
Love it.
Just give me a shovel and put me on a John Deere, and I'm happy.
Yay, me too. These are actually kind of cool. I'm so tired of this shoot 'em up stuff. This is wonderful and inventive and imaginative. All right, now, speaking of imaginative, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember playing with Google Blocks. It was one of the first VR and PC VR native low-poly 3D creation modeling apps. It's now back in Quest Early Access as Open Blocks. It's a totally open source version, so check it out and have some fun. And I want to see some pictures of some stuff. If you build some stuff, send us some pictures. We want to see it.
Well, when the news first came out that Bandai Namco was announcing the end of anime MMO Blue Protocol on January 18th of 2025, many fans of the popular, massively multiplayer online game were unhappy, but they greeted the end with grace and style by dancing. During the last hours of Blue Protocol, players gathered in the game's starting town of Asterlis for an impromptu dance, and then others joined the crowd. One fan said, "When the world ends, people just dance." What a way to go out. We love that.
Oh, I love that. That's wonderful.
That's a
if
good
you gotta
attitude.
go, yeah, that's a great attitude. I love it.
Meanwhile,
Speaking of dancing.
yeah, speaking of dancing, actually, in VR events, are you familiar with VR Dance Academy? If you love to dance, check it out. They hold dance classes and socials, special performances, and even yoga classes regularly in VRChat. What a fabulous way to meet people. They have a Valentine's dance this week and a puppeteer tale performance called Shadow Canyon coming up in March.
The Ferryman Collective is a long-running theater group passionate about bringing a groundbreaking live immersive theater and narratives to life in VR. Winning honors at Rain Dance Immersive, Venice Film Festival, South by Southwest, Tribeca, and more. Their current work is called Gumball Dreams. You've been called by an alien called Onyx to a mythical planet where they're living out their final days. Your goal is to help them transition from this reality into the next. It is amazing. It opens March 5th through April 26th in VRChat. Just a few tickets are still available.
And it's also conference time. The calendar in March is packed with one conference after another, so get your tickets now and be ready if one is at a convention hall near you.
All right, on the virtual airplane, we start with the Mobile World Conference. One of the largest events for the mobile industry is March 3rd through the 5th in Barcelona, in Spain. Then jump on a virtual plane to Austin, Texas for South by Southwest, March 7th through the 15th. It's an experience, and XR is often one of the highlights. Same time is the IEEE VR 2025 conference in France. Try being in two places at once. A showcase for the most innovative and groundbreaking research and technology.
The Game Developers Conference of 2025 is March 17th to the 21st in San Francisco. With over 30,000 attendees around the world.
Wow.
Followed a month later with Laval Virtual in France, April 9th through the 11th, exploring the latest in XR technology since 1999.
Wow.
XR Expo is in Germany, May 8th and 9th, and June 10th through 12th is AWE XR in Los Angeles. If you're following along, head to Birmingham, UK for ICVARS 2025, July 25th through the 27th for this international conference on VR and AI simulations. Sounds interesting. We'll have more XR conferences for your travel plans coming up at our next show.
Whether they're virtual or in person. Now,
yes.
We have been asked this for years. Educators in VR is bringing back our Discord basic course in Discord, designed to help you learn how to post, share media, share your desktop, video conference, and more. We're offering 4 2-hour workshops for only $10 per person as we reboot this popular class. Class size is really limited, so look for the announcement the next day or so through all of our, everywhere where we post our stuff.
The long-awaited XR Launchpad Idea to Business paid course is now scheduled for April. Tickets will be available this weekend. 2 free intro sessions are happening in the next few weeks to give you a taste, but sign up fast as the course will likely fill up fast.
Educators in VR is also offering a free 1-hour training this Thursday, February 13th, in Engage XR for their film crew. If you enjoy filming in VR or would like to learn how and help us film our events, including this XR news show, join us for these monthly training sessions and get involved.
Now, an hour after the show today, Educators in VR's immersive education team is in VRChat with our session on sparking connections, really transforming conversations in VR learning spaces. It's a free workshop on active listening for engaging conversations and really fostering meaningful connections in VR. We're going to have fun with that.
That sounds interesting. Next week are 2 must-attend events. Tuesday, February 18th, is Setting Up Your First VR Classroom in Engage XR. A look at some of the core essentials to begin your journey into immersive education. The next day in VRChat, they're tackling a favorite topic of many, overcoming VR motion sickness for teachers and everyone.
Yeah, everybody talks about it.
Yeah.
Destroy the myths.
A new AI team with educators in VR is developing a series of special events exploring AI in XR. We'll be meeting at the end of the month, so get excited. We are.
I can't wait.
Yes.
Now, the first Educators in VR Unity work group was last week. Oh, it was packed with so many people with a wide variety of skill levels. This is our former world building group. It's now the Unity work group. And they meet in Engage XR on the first and third Thursdays to work on the Unity Learn program and certification and up all of your Unity skills in general. We're going to have some great speakers. Look, it's so exciting.
Oh, yeah. Educators in VR also sponsors world tours every Sunday with the Cadets Metaverse in VRChat. Join their VRChat group for some fun events across multiple platforms. You'll have a chance in a couple minutes to meet two of the founders of the group and to learn more.
And don't forget our PCVR World Hop Saturday night and the Rich's new Uno night on Friday nights.
Oh,
also,
well,
don't forget the Educators in VR Wrecking Crew, a volunteer team of VR and XR breakers and bug reporters working to help VR platforms and app developers and designers. We've been helping Evgenia Simmons of Vertex Forum 3D create what we believe is a game-changer VR app that has an open-source modular Unity builder. We'll have her on here soon for a chat at XR News.
Indeed.
Hey, all right. It is now time for our
interview session.
Yeah.
So let's all have a seat down with the members of our community and learn more about what they're doing in VR and why. It's also your turn to ask them questions. So let's get started with our special guests today, Lance Wusky and KarenVR.
Yay. Well, everybody's getting seated here. Lance. Are you okay, Lance? We're just checking. All right. I've known KarenVR, just Karen. I think it's since 2020 or a little earlier. She's helped out with Educators
2019. 2019 to be exact.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I knew it was before the pandemic. She's helped out with Educators in VR with XR News since nearly the beginning. And was absolutely a rock star when she was roped in at last minute to help as a guest for the show several times. And then at very last minute, one of our hosts had to drop the show for another commitment. And I just asked her with a couple hours notice, and she stepped right on in. And I have some great memories from those early days of crazy with this show. And she's been a part of that crazy. It's been wonderful. She's a retired teacher and has done so much for our communities, including the Cadets Metaverse with Lance and so many others. I don't even know where to start, but we're going to introduce Lance next.
Lance has been with Educators in VR since Halloween 2020, and he has his own fun origin story to share. He quickly moved up the ranks to be our lead moderator, then trainer, then director of logistics. Much of the work behind the scenes to keep Educators in VR running is due to Lance. He built this amazing new XR News studio for us and pulls all the levers behind the curtains. Our very own live-in wizard.
That's right. That's right. Well, I want to start with Karen. We're trying to get you to sit down. You're squatted right now, but we're trying to get you to sit.
I know. I don't know how to. Oh, I'm being seated. Thanks, Matthew. I always know it's Matthew.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
actually.
That's Lance. Okay. Usually Matthew seats me without my permission. Where is Matthew?
Yes. He's up there in the corner. He's there.
Oh, okay.
He's part of the tribe, without a doubt. Stands with trees.
Oh, there he
Karen,
is. Okay.
I have so many amazing memories of you. And so many questions and things I want to ask. So first of all, I want to share with this brilliant memory, and I wish I'd thought about grabbing the picture to put it up on the slides, but you were traveling to visit family or something, and we brought in like 6 people, including Stands with Trees, to be hosts. It took it took like 3 or 4 people to replace you.
No, you guys did a
Karen,
great job.
Karen, you in AltspaceVR, Karen used to be the hat lady. She had amazing hats. I love hats. So all of us, in your honor, when we did the show, we were all wearing hats
That's
on our
right.
avatars. Yeah, so that was our honor to you all those years ago. That was wonderful. Now, what you've done so many things, and so I want to highlight one of the things I have you talk about what you did, how you did it, and that was that you helped a young friend of yours during the pandemic put on a play. Can you talk about that, please?
Oh,
Sure. So that was Ariel,
Mhm.
and many of you remember Ariel. She had just turned 14 at the time, and it was like Laurel said, it was during the pandemic, and the school, so she couldn't do her school play, obviously, because everybody was home, being at home at that time. So, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Let me put that on me. Okay. Anyway, so I said, well, Ariel, let's do one in VR. So we went online, we looked at plays, we did a lot of research, which was just fun. Doing all that was fun. We did a lot of research, and then I had taken a class. I had just taken a class with Nicholas. Nicholas's universe. We actually, myself and my brother.
Yeah.
Tri-Universe. We were the first class to go through, which was really cool. But I had just taken the Unity class, so I was kind of eager at that time to, test out my new Unity skills and all that. So basically we built a world, brought props in, did the whole thing. Laurel came in. Laurel is really good at looking at worlds and telling you what they need and how to improve them. So she volunteered, which was very nice of her to come over and gave us some really good advice. And then we had our play, which was a big success.
A wonderfully twisted version of Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes. which is still online. If anybody wants to see it, it's on my brother's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But that was a blast.
Yeah,
that was my big
how many people were involved in that? Because I lost count at like 25 people or more, 50.
Well, there was Margie and myself and Ariel, and my brother, and who else was in that?
I was in there.
I ended up being stage manager behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, yes.
That was Lance eventually became stage manager.
Matthew was always in the air moderating, even when we had our rehearsals. You could always find stands with trees up in the air, and and then Veronica helped out, Marcia Kay helped out. It
was amazing.
We had a lot of people that would just drop by and help out and and encourage us and all that. But it was so much fun. It was a blast.
And just like this news show, it wasn't that you stuck to the script or not. It was the fact that there were boo-boos all the way along. There were funny things that happened and people fell through the floor. And I mean, there were all kinds of, but there was also some really wonderful world building techniques and things that you incorporated into this to put this all together. Have you continued building worlds?
No, and I need to get back into it. I was getting back into Unity, and then I got into some other things, AI and some other things, and I need to get back into it. I do want to get back into it.
Excellent. We love it. Yeah. So Lance, let's talk about your origin story, how you ended up in Altspace.
Well, I was able to finally get a Quest 1 when I first started coming into VR. VRChat was the first place I was. And then I heard someone mention an app called Altspace. I looked it up because I was curious. I saw what the avatars used to look like. That didn't really draw me in until I'd say 3 months later. It was October 24th, 2020. Lagged a little bit. 2020, and I saw the new avatars and actually forgot it was the same app from the first time I looked it up. And I just went in there, started roaming around, did the the tutorial space and stuff, and took my accidental photo, which I still have now. I used that to kind of track how long it's been since I've been in there. Then I just started to, roam around, and I saw an event that was happening. I think it was that day, and it was the worldbuilders Halloween volunteer. I was curious, so I hopped in there.
It was the Educators in VR Halloween
Oh,
training.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, Educators in VR. Okay. And I popped in there, and I was gonna be silent in the far back, just paying attention. That didn't go according to plan, I guess, because of my name. Because Laurel pointed me out. It made me have a full-blown panic attack. I won't lie, my heart was beating fast. I was thinking everyone's gonna look at me. Everyone's now gonna say something, but then I pulled everything
why?
in, and I just unmuted.
What was your name?
So, before it was known as Lance, before it was known as Lance Wusky, it was named as Lance Wusky, but as in B-U-T-T. And she pointed that out, and I unmuted, freaking out, being like, "Don't worry, I can easily change it." Which I eventually did, obviously.
Yes, but what were important about those words? You told us that was the first. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I won't get too in depth in it, but Lance is, the name.
No. What was important? Hold on a second. What was important was that was the first time he spoke out loud to someone in VR.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
That was actually true. That was the very, very first time I actually unmuted and spoke in VR. Because when I did join the tutorial world, there was a community helper there. They were nice. I don't remember who they were, but they were nice. They walked up and was like, "Hi!" I freaked out and ran. I was like, I don't want no social interactions, and I just ran and just started following the lines, doing what the board said.
So that was the first time he spoke in VR, and we haven't been able to shut him up ever since.
Not 100%.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
Pointing about and saying that word, but, and I'm looking. I couldn't see his nameplate at that point from where I was at, and I'm looking at you like, but what? What?
Yeah, Whiskey butt, but what?
Now I will say that Laurel did help out a lot of me feeling a little bit more confident to be able to speak. Because when I actually volunteered for the Halloween event, the first one didn't go too well. But when I came back the next day, I really dug in because I was like, who do I want to play? So I decided to play as a character named Chucky. I made sure the whole outfit looked exactly like it. I did my best to do the laugh, try to scare people. And that kind of pulled me out of my unsociableness because it really wasn't me, but it helped me enough to be able to, after that, I did start talking more than I used to. And then, I found Karen, Diamond, Darren, Dargon, Stands with Treat, and so many others in the Altspace 101. And that's when I went on, the tours and learned some new stuff. And then I think it was 2 months in, I started to volunteer as much as I can, as moderating. And then the 3rd month was very exciting because I finally got the community helper badge, and I took that serious. I did everything that I could to actually bring the community. Yeah, I did my best to actually use it to help and moderate, which was really fun. And I really enjoyed that, and I miss it. So
you get to moderate every day, but yeah, the training part.
I know. And I just missed the green badge.
I know. And then Lance and Stand with Trees, I trained them to take over the AltspaceVR 101, and they started doing training events and things for educators in VR and other things. It was those were idyllic. Y'all remember those days? Those were magic days. For those that were there, that was really, I mean, it was stressful. There was all kinds of stuff. But when I look back, boy, I see only rose-colored glasses.
I know.
Yeah.
It was
Not
nice
even
helping
pandemic
anyone new
itself.
coming in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were special times.
But that's when we all began to realize what was so special about VR.
Mm-hmm.
The outside world was pretty much locked down and inaccessible, but there we were having fun and socializing and doing, accomplishing things like you, Lance, learning how to moderate and help.
Fly across the room.
I didn't do that. That was weird. I didn't do that. I was just sitting here. That was not me.
Right, Lance?
Yeah, Lance, we spent
Maybe.
part of
This
the
place is
morning.
probably haunted.
I know, but we spent part of the morning talking about
how that
flying,
happened.
trying to get flying in engaged. So it must be the thing. Well, so that's a great, Steph, that's a really good point. Karen, you were in VR before the lockdown, so you have a perspective that of both the before and the after, so to speak, and the after.
Mm-hmm.
How, what lesson, or what, give us something that you learned in the experience about being in lockdown while being in VR from that perspective.
Well, I have to be honest. I like being in my home. So, I mean, I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to go to lunches with friends. I didn't have to go to doctor's appointments. So I hate to say it. Everybody else was going crazy. I was enjoying it for the most part. But what I did notice is that there were a whole lot of people who came into VR over that time. And I'm glad they found VR because it gave them an outlet from being cooped up at home, because, a lot of those people didn't like being cooped up at home. But, our platform grew, as you know, Laurel, exponentially during COVID. And then we lost some of those people. They went back to their IRL and some stayed and, but I think it gave people, it increased the presence in VR. More headsets were bought at that time. And, had the lockdown gone on longer, I think we would have even had more of a presence, in VR. But yeah, I saw, people come in, and we had just special things going on during that time. We had your Wednesday tours. Oh, I look forward to those tours. Your Wednesday world tours. And then we had Daisy Shaw's tours, I think the day before. And a lot of people went on those tours. That's basically where I met most of my friends, was going on your tours.
And which were, that was part of the joy. And that's one of the things when you two got together and you decided to create Cadets Metaverse. Tell us about that. Because that was kind of a spin-off from all those world tours.
So it kind of came about, after I had taken the class, the Unity class. Zeke, some of you all know Zeke. Zeke and my brother and I got together, and because we used to have study halls. They weren't called study halls. They were called, I forget what Nicholas called them, but we'd come together and it was kind of like a study hall, computer session, whatever you want to call it. And so we said, well, let's continue that. So we created a server, a small private server, and we invited a few people in with some experience with Unity and Blender. And then after that started growing, more people were coming in, and we met more friends who didn't have a technical background. And so at the time, Dragoness, you remember Dragoness suggested, she said, let's make a friends server so we can have a friend server. And so we were friends with Merlin at the time, who was about 16, I think. He was a kid in the UK, and Dragoness said, let's let him build the server, because he was really into everything we were doing. And so he built out the server, and then little by little, our friends started to join. Discord server. Little by little, our friends started to join. And Lance, you want to pick up where we voted on the name and all that?
Yeah, so while we were building the Discord and creating the community, several of us got together because I'm horrible at naming things, and I decided to have everyone at least come up with a name, and we would all decide what it would be. We had a pretty big list, but it did come down to the Cadets Metaverse. Now, why we picked it, I don't fully remember. I just remembered that we all liked how it sounded, especially the Metaverse part. Which we were worried because, you know, Meta doing the name change, we were worried about that really big. But we decided to go with it, and after that we started figuring out how do we want the logo to look. And when we figured that out, we Lucy, one of our dear friends, created a really cool logo, and we modified it a little bit more as well, and we ended up the one that we have now that we usually always use. And then after that, we just started inviting, you know, our friends to come into the server. And then after that, we just started building more upon it as well too. So
So now you have the world tours. You have Rich is doing playing Uno. That's fascinating. And there's PCVR tours as well as just VR and regular tours. And what else do you have going on? I know there's a ton going on.
With Rich's Cadet Talk, which he started, which is once a month, which is gotten very popular.
And?
Yeah, that's a time that we get to communicate. So. Rich and I started up a Resonite Cadets server because when we went over to Resonite, was around December of 2024. Is that right? No, 2023. When we went over to Resonite, a few cadets came with us. There were a few cadets over there, and so you know, we were very taken with the platform. But anyway, we created a Cadets Resonite server, and then Lippy. I don't know if you all know Lippy, but he and Diego kind of took over with the cadets, because since we haven't been over there too much anymore, but he took over with the cadets over there, and they've been having meetings, Cadets Metaverse meetings over in Resonite. So we kind of spread to that platform as well. And then as an offshoot of the Sunday night World Hops, you want to talk about Horizon, Lance, a little bit? Well, we have gone to Horizon a few times. Darren built a world there that we specifically meet in. Since most worlds there only hold so many people, if we do go there, depending on how many join, we always try to evenly split up into groups, so we all can still communicate and travel around roughly the same worlds, just like what we do in VRChat. We do plan on moving some of it as well to Rec Room, that we may have to split up in even smaller groups. So we're trying to figure out the logistics there. That's why we haven't quite done that just yet. We have had a few movie nights where we'd get together and, you know, watch movies with each other that we're allowed to. That there's really nice. Because in Altspace, I had several worlds built specifically for the cadets, which, you know, it was to make it feel like we're living in the same place, kind of, per se, which, you know, brings me to the underwater apartments that was named the Aqua Suites. Anyone that was in the cadets was able to get that template to build a home space if they wanted to feel like they were, you know, properly a part of the community. Because I had this really big apartment, so you get to pick the number you want, your name would go there, while your portal would go on the doorknob, allowing people to go in, check your space if they wanted to. We even did an apartment tour of that, where we all together went to look at everyone's apartments. They get to, you know, tour what they did, how they did it, why they did it, which was really nice, and everyone was excited. We had tons of people come with us, especially those that wanted to show off their apartments, which was really cool because you were able to see everyone was unique, especially when it comes to building their apartments. Everyone was unique. There was never the same apartment. It may be the same template, but when you went in there, usually what they did didn't even look like it was the same template. So it was really cool to see everyone get creative with it. And I do plan on trying to bring that back again because I do miss that.
Cool.
So.
And
now,
that grew.
So you've done, oh, go ahead, Karen.
Oh, I was going to say, we forgot like a major point here. So you were talking about the 101s, Laurel. So during 101, when Margie was doing the 101, some of the people who had gone through, like Matthew, Dargon, Kurt, a few other people, they would come back at the end of the 101 to go on the little tour that we did, because Margie always did, you did the same thing, but Margie did a little world tour after the 101. And so they would come back, and that's how the whole tour thing initiated. That's how it first got started. And then when Lance built his apartment building, we started to meet in there for the tour. And this was always on a Sunday night after 101. So we would meet in Lance's apartment building. And that's how the whole Sunday night tour thing grew. But the thing with Lance's apartment building is, our cadet group was growing at that time, but what that whole apartment building concept and the tours that followed, it created such a sense of community, because when Lance gave each person their own apartment, which, like you said, it was a template. It was exactly the same, but people went in, they took pride in it, like people take pride in their own homes and IRL, right? So they went in, they decorated it, they did crazy stuff with it, out of the box thinking. And so then we had to have at least, I think, 3 tours, right, Lance, to accommodate
it was about 3,
yeah, to accommodate all the apartments that everybody had decorated. So we would gather in Lance's apartment building, in the main apartment building, and then we would go to the apartments designated for that evening's tour, or that day tour, because we had a day tour too. And we would go into each person's apartment and see what they had done. But that event, I'll never forget it, because the whole apartment thing just brought the community together. It created a spirit of community and brought people together. It was a beautiful experience.
Oh, that's wonderful. No, we only have a few minutes left, and you've talked about how that community came together, provided each other, and built that community. But managing a community also means being the bad guy. It also means being, a leader and controlling people who are, don't know how to behave in the, or break the rules and whatnot. But so there's always a little bit of a dark side to make sure that everybody who's in there plays nice. We're going to run over, just letting everybody know we're going to run over time just a little bit, because I think this is really important. What are some of the tips and things and challenges that you faced in dealing with managing that community? Because people are people.
Well, that's true. I think we've faced challenges. We've had to talk to, some people. And I have to throw a compliment at Lance, who's, ever since I've known him, he's very, very good at telling someone what to do, what not to do, etc., without coming off as being bossy. And there's very few people in my life that I've met who have that ability. He does it with a laugh, he does it with a smile, he does it with encouragement, so that the person doesn't take offense to what he's saying. And that's a skill. That's just, no, it's not a skill. It's something I think you're kind of born with, that you can improve on. But I got to give Lance that. He's really good at that. But, I think we've, as people who have moderated the community, and there are several of us, we've grown in that, because that is a skill, learning how to do that. And, we've made some mistakes along the way. We've made some good decisions along the way, but it's been a growing experience. Lance, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so as people who have moderated know, moderating can be hard, especially when you have to moderate someone you know, one of your friends. Most times they behave, but then they misbehaved, and you're like, oh, I have to kick you. So I usually, I always add emotion to everything I do. Sometimes I need to stop that, but I do add emotion to everything I do. I try to connect to the person, if they're doing something bad or not, because I want to try to give people a chance to change. If they don't, then I feel a little bit better doing what I need to do. But I like to try to give people a decent chance. So Karen is right about the, I try to be nice when I'm trying to be mean. It's not easy, but it is something that is doable, and it does take a lot of practice doing it. I had to do that plenty of times with my family. So I just try to do my best to bring my point across. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or anything like that. If they're doing something they're not supposed to do, I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it in a way that they can see what they're doing is wrong and hopefully not do it again. Which then, I'll feel better, because then I'm like, good, I didn't have to remove you. So, but it's not easy being a moderator or a community leader. You just have to, go with it and just take it one day at a time as best as you can.
Right, because the fun part is building the community. The hard part is maintaining and managing the community. So it makes it hard.
It is.
So
it is.
So really quick before we close this off, what are the future plans? What's going forward?
Future plans.
Status quo?
Well, we just brought some of those future plans into fruition, like Rich's Uno night and his Cadet night and his PCVR World Tour. That's all happened within the last several months. But we do want to expand more to other platforms. We've gotten a little bit lazy with VRChat, but VRChat gives us everything we need. It's cross-platform. There's a lot of worlds that are 50 plus, and we have 50, 60 people come, to the World Hop. So that in itself is a challenge. When we go to Horizon, we have to divide into 2 groups, and that's not ideal, but we do it. So our future plans are to expand it onto other platforms, even if we have to break up into small groups, and then probably have some more movie nights. What else, Lance?
All right. Well, the big thing that I've always said is I want to be able to use the cadets as a hub system for all the communities, because there are a lot of communities, especially those that broke off from AltSpace. Because in my head, I still want the AltSpace people to still know that everyone is still there or still here, just spread out. So in a way, I want to try to use the cadets as the hub, so you can join us and hang out with us, and then notice that there's branches that go off to other communities, that do events that they may want to go join, or do some world building, or just hanging out. So in the future, I want to be able to connect all the communities together, hopefully at least using the cadets as the hub system, kind of. So
brilliant.
At least that's my plan for the future.
I love it. I love it. All right. I want to thank you both for being. Oh, Karen, did you want to add something?
No, I was just going to say, because we have members of cadets who have their own events. Like, we have a Tessa who has her beautiful Persian nights and her concerts. We have Dr. Heartbeats with her events. We have Jim, who took over Daisy's tours. We have Sherry's Doppelgangers, which, that was a transition from AltSpace to VRChat. But there's a lot of cadets members, who have branched off and have their own events, which is
love it.
Yeah, like educators in VR, and it's the Oh darn! I forget what it's called.
Well,
It's when you're
we
acting,
could
but you're
spend
going with
5
the
days.
flow. So
We can find
yeah, I
improv.
know.
We
I
can
know.
spend 500 day hours
Yes,
listing all
improv.
the different associations. Yeah, I love it. So I want to thank, Karen, you're part of the show every time we do it, and for so many years. You and I are the last of the oldie moldies. Thank you so much for all the work that you do, and all the
Thank you,
passion that
Laurel.
you bring to not just cadets and to our show and to educators in VR, but really to everything that you do. Your heart is as big as the planet. Next to Lance, which I have to admit, you'll have to admit, his heart's a little bigger. We can't help it, right? Because we love him. I'd like to say yours is the biggest, Karen, but we know better. And yeah, but Lance, also thank you for everything that you do, all of the work you do for educators in VR as our director of logistics, and all the world building this beautiful world. I mean, you and I came up with this world driving through the Cascade Mountains.
I'm happy I have a vivid imagination to be able to come up with stuff in my head too.
Yeah.
So.
We're just driving, and he was getting nervous, so we talked about design. What would the new studio look like? So thank you for sharing that journey with me, and all the rest of the journeys we have in virtual and real life. So everyone, round of applause for our amazing guests, KarenVR and Lance Wusky. Yay! Thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you, Laurel. Thank you.
All right. Yay, we love it. We love celebrating all of our amazing community members. So Karen, you get the honor of starting us to take us out and close it down.
Oh,
yep.
All right. Okay.
You got to get your bits together again.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hang on.
We've got to get you, Lance. You got to get her set up with the HUD, better HUD thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check out to see what kind of computer she has, then she may be able to.
Yeah, new computer. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. As we close out sorry, it's not day yet, week. As we close out the show, this is a reminder to show love far and wide throughout the metaverse to our community, our friends, and loved ones. Bring some joy to their lives with the simple gift of a smile or laughter. We need it now more than ever.
Amen. Yeah. XR News is produced by Educators VR and our XR News volunteer team with Lance. The show is I was doing so well. I was doing so well. Okay, rented lips. The second and fourth week of the month, we are here in Engage for you doing the show.
And each of our shows is filmed for YouTube and will soon add live streaming to our Educators in VR YouTube channel, Twitch, Discord, and more.
To keep up with the news from around the metaverse in the meantime, join the Educators in VR Discord at discord.me/educators in VR to find links to the news we highlight in the show and more on the metaverse and immersive education. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and other social media platforms to help you to stay informed.
Each show, we offer an opportunity like this for one or more of our community members share their expertise and their experiences. Coming up next time, we have the amazing Paul Wayaki Simon of Africa VR. He's staying up late. He's going to be in the middle of his night. He's going to be here from the Africa VR campus and center, and he's changing the lives of young girls in Africa with immersive education, and we are so proud to be working with him.
In future episodes, Nico and Shushu will talk with us about world building that redefines our perspectives, literally, and lives. As with Evgenia Simons on her new Vertex Form 3D program that makes building apps in Unity simple and easy. Oh, thank you, God. And many more.
Really
if any of you would like to join us for a 15 to 20-minute interview and discussion session, please contact us and let us know. Or if you know of anybody else. We love highlighting our community.
And, we can't do this without you and your support. We also can't do this without the generous work of the XR News industry. And I just heard there's a new online magazine that's coming out. So we credit, I'm hoping they're going to, anyway, we credit these sources each week to bring, with all of these people who bring us the news that we pass on to you. So thank you for being here, and thank you to all of our sources.
And remember, you are the reason we do the XR News Show. Until next time, stand up, stand tough, and most of all, in these amazing, uncertain times, please, please be safe wherever you are in the world. I wish I could throw confetti, but I can't.
Indeed.
We did it!
Yeah, Q stands for freeze. Yay.